तत्परम्पर्याय विद्महे ज्ञानलिङ्गेश्वराय धीमहि तन्नो गुरुः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ योगमहर्षि स्वामी गीतानंद गिरि गुरु महाराज की जय। ओम पुदुवाई कलैमामणि पुदुवाई शक्ति योगाचारिणी अम्मा जी मीनाक्षी देवी भवनानी गुरु माता की जय। ओम पुदुवाई कलैमामणि योगाचार्य डॉक्टर नंदा योगी भवनानी जय। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि Namaskaram everyone, Namaste. This is Yogacharini Sangeeta. I am the Director of Studies and Research of Gitananda Nāda Yoga International, and this is Gitananda Nāda Yoga Satsanga. And we are delighted to be here today at Ananda Ashram. This conversation is part of a residential in Mantra Laya that has been going on now for a few days and will go on for some days. It's often the case in our sanghas that many of our participants have great skills. Many of us are teachers, many of us are definitely lifelong learners, but in this particular case, we are delighted to have with us two educators and professors, and I would like to introduce them. This is a conversation on Sanskrit, on studying Sanskrit, on the Pranava Om, on learning the Pranava Om. There are going to be tips and questions, and the conversation will be facilitated by Yogacharya Nilachal. So Neeti, I'll start by reading your bio. And Neeti Dwivedi earned her master in Sanskrit in 1981, topping your university. Congratulations. She opted superannuation as a Sanskrit teacher during 2009. Thereafter, she received Yoga Visharad, a diploma in yoga education, and has been teaching yoga philosophy in colleges as a guest faculty. Welcome, Neeti. And then I'll also read and introduce our Alok Dwivedi. Dr. Alok Dwivedi was awarded a PhD in botany in 1987. He received Yoga Visharad, diploma in yoga education, and he is a certified yoga therapist, a teacher and evaluator by the Yoga Certification Board of the Ministry of Ayush. He is presently providing services as an honorary principal of SB Pass Yoga School in Indore and has been teaching yoga philosophy as a guest faculty in colleges over the last 10 years. So, welcome. So I will now Nilachal ji to take it over and to ask some questions and facilitate the conversation.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. Thank you for organizing this wonderful setup for understanding the basic fundamental concepts of Sanskrit, which is very much essential in the Nāda Yoga teachings, and especially in the Mantra Laya teachings that you are providing to all of us. And I would like to take the privilege in taking the questions, asking Neeti ji and Alok Dwivedi ji. So with that basic understanding of the Sanskrit that we all have seen, Sanskrit is considered to be the divine language in modern context. It is said to be divine. And also it is very much important to be learned in modern context when people are learning Nāda Yoga or Mantra Laya. Why it is so significant?
First of all, I am very grateful to have this opportunity. Thank you, Sangeeta, and here. Sanskrit, we can say, the mother of all mother tongues. Some scholars accept that many languages of the world are originated from Sanskrit. And this is very ancient, all ancient literature, like including like Vedas, Upanishads, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, etc., originated written in English. So this is very ancient language, and I would like to share a prevailing story of origin of Sanskrit. It is really a divine language. It is said that once the Lord Shiva performing his divine dance, Tandava, the dance of Lord Shiva is known as Tandava. And on the finishing of his performance, he played his favorite instrument, Damru, the sound of Damru. And he played that Damru in a set pattern of 9 and 5 beats. So 9 and 5 means 14 sounds were produced from the Damru. So the Maharshi Panini was a great and genius grammarian, and he absorbed that sounds and realized that these sounds actually define the capability of human vocal. No other than these 14 sounds can be pronounced by human vocal. So after then he symbolized these sounds and arranged in a pattern, and this pattern and giving rise to the Sanskrit Varnamala, Sanskrit alphabets. And these Sanskrit alphabets is called as Maheshwara Sutra. And on the basis of this Maheshwara Sutra or aphorism, he wrote 4,000 aphorisms known as Astadhyayi. Astadhyayi means having 8 chapters. This is based of grammar. And the opening shloka of Astadhyayi is also tell about the story. The shloka is Nritavasanya Nataraj Rajo Nanad Dhakkam Nav Panchavaram Udharva Kama Sankadi Siddhas Teta Vimarshe Shiva Sutra Jana. It means at the end of his cosmic dance, Shiv, the Lord of Dance, played his Dambu 14 times with the intent to bless the rishis like Sankadi, from which emerged the web of Shiva Sutra. So these aphorisms or sutra are in code form. Sutra means maximum knowledge in minimum words. So sometimes it is very difficult to understand these sutras. That is why some scholars have written some commentaries on it, like Bhattoji Dikshit, Nagesh Bhatt. But the most important and famous commentary of Maharshi Patanjali is Mahabhashya. Maharshi Patanjali has also written a commentary on Astadhyayi known as Mahabhashya. And this is a revolutionary work on Sanskrit grammar by Maharshi Panini. By this Astadhyayi, he making the language tidy and with no traces of ambiguity whatsoever. And these rules and regulations are relevant today also, without any change. And as we said that the Sanskrit is a Dev Bhasha, divine, considered as divine language. So because as it carries the vibrations of the Damru played by Lord Shiva, and when we pronounce any word of Sanskrit, we pronounce that sound of Damru. So now I pronounce the Maheshwara Sutra. So listen carefully. First I tell some fast, then slowly. Listen carefully. The 14 Maheshwara Sutras are Ayom Ridalik, Ayom, Hayavada, Yavang Gananam, Javay, Javak Dada, Kapuchata, Jadata, Kapai Shasar, Ayur, Ridrik, Ayom, Ayouch, Hayavara, Learn, Yamang Gananam, Javay, Khadakash, Javak Dadash, Kapuchata, Jadata, Kapai Shasar, Hai. These 14 Maheshwara Sutras. And these are the basic of Sanskrit. these sutras, some alphabets are swaras and other remaining are vyanjana. So swaras means those sounds which can be pronounced independently without any help of other sound. And vyanjana means consonant, swara means vowel. So vyanjan we cannot pronounce them without the help of swara. We can write it. When we write any vyanjan without swara, we put a small slant line under the swara, vyanjana. This means there is no swara is added in that vyanjan. This is called halant. But when we pronounce, we have to take help of swara. All these swara and vyanjana, the swara are a. No need to take help of any swara or vyanjana. So a, I, u, ri, a, I, o. These are swaras. And vyanjan, I am pronouncing with the help of a swara. So first is ka word, ka line swara, vyanjana. Ka, kha, ga, gha, anga. The second line is called cha word. Cha, cha, ja, cha, nya. Then ta, tha, da, tha, na. Then ta word. Ta, tha, da, tha, na. And fifth one is pa word. Pa, ha, ba, ha, ma. And ya, ra, la, va, cha, ha, sha, ha. These are vyanjana. And another classification is also there of swaras. There are three types of swara. First is rasva. Rasva swara means short swara. We can say one clap swara. We have one blink. When we blink our eye, one time blink is rasva swara. Or two time, two clap. When we take time, two clap, then dirgha swara. And three clap time. This is plut swara. So rasva swara, एक मात्रिक स्वरा यानी वन मात्रा स्वर और वन क्लाप स्वरा. The rasva swaras are a, I, U, Ri and Ri. These are rasva swara. And dirgha swaras are A, I, U, Ri, A, I, O, Au. This last four is also called Sanyukta Vyanjana, Sanyukta swara also. These are deep. And the plut, how can we recognize this swara is plut? One sign like numeral 3, similar to numeral 3. When we put this sign after any swara, when we pronounce it, we have to prolong it. Yeah, as I wish to call someone, then I use this plut swara. For example, Sangeeta. Then the ta means ta plus rasva a. Sangeeta. Then Sangeeta. Ta plus dirgha a. Sangeeta. And when this plut sign is there, the ta, then if we wish to call you, then I pronounce Sangeeta. As when after O, we put this sign after O, then O should be prolonged. O. And one other very interesting example of voice of cock. Coo, coo. Three swara. Coo, coo, coo. This is rasva, dirgha and plut swara. So these are the some classification about swara and vyanjana, about the alphabets of Sanskrit. This is called Varnamala, the basics of Sanskrit.
Thank you, Neeti ji, for building the basis of this Sanskrit language and why it is called the divine language or the language of God. And I have shared this sheet with all of us, and those who are watching us or will be watching in the YouTube or somewhere in the online, Sangeeta ji will be sharing this with you, and please contact her for this. This is a very beautifully written and compiled by Neeti ji, and you can have a look and you can get more information about that. Thank you for building that basis or base of the talk and understanding Sanskrit in a very easy way. When we talk about Sanskrit, and there one more thing comes up, like why Sanskrit is, like you can give some examples related with Sanskrit, which gives like it is more scientific language. Like how can we consider Sanskrit as a scientific language?
Sanskrit is a scientific language. As we know, the script of Sanskrit is Devanagari. And this Devanagari lipi is so, script is so scientific that the pronunciation are always uniform. They never change. On the other hand, we can say in English, variation in pronunciation are commonly seen. There's N-O and K-N-O-W. It is similar. B-U-T and P-U-T pronounced differently. So, Sanskrit never changes pronunciation. And that is why the Sanskrit is selected for the best language for the talking computer also. And one more concept is coming to us, Sanskrit effect. Sanskrit effect. So the pronunciation of Sanskrit word has been found to have positive effect on brain health. And Dr. James Hartzell of Trento University, he conducted an experiment on 14 volunteers and concluded that the MRI of brain of Sanskrit students had a bigger hippocampus and improved cortex and higher neural cells in gray matter in comparison to those who didn't chant Sanskrit words.
So your hippocampus is beautiful.
And many more specialties in Sanskrit. Yes. Let me discuss about the richness and vocabulary of Sanskrit. Very interesting. Sanskrit has a vast vocabulary, so the authors of Sanskrit has too much choice to select the vocabulary according to the personality of their characters. In Hindu mythology, Shri Ram, the God, Ram is the God Ram. He is very polite, soft-spoken and patient, and he defeated demon king Ravana. And the Ravana was very arrogant and hot-headed person. Both Ram and Ravana offered his prayers to Lord Shiva to achieve the blessings for victory. So, by looking at the selection of words, one can easily identify which prayer is offered by Ram and which is by Ravana. And Alok is very like to recite these stutis, so
Yes.
Please.
Manishvamishana nirvana rupam vidungyapakam brahma vedasvarupam nijam nirgunam nirvikalpam niriham chidakasham akashavasam bhajeham. From the other. Atavikalatjalapravahapavidastadeva evadam yadam vitam bhujangatungamalikam tamattamatamattamannadavaddamarvayam chakarachandatandavam tanoduna shiva shivam. Now can you guess? The first one is by Ram or Ravana?
Yes, Sri Rama, first one, second one, Ravana.
So this is the, the Sanskrit language reflects the personality. Who has written it? Reflects the personality. It is vast vocabulary is there in Sanskrit. According to your choice, your interest, you can use the words.
One more very interesting example is Dashkumar Charita. Is a famous drama of Sanskrit written by Gandhi. So in this drama is about 10 princes. Among them, one of the prince loses his lower lip in the combat, leaving unable to pronounce pa word. Pa word means pa, pa, ba, ba, ba. Nobody can pronounce pa, pa, ba, ba, ma without the help of lips. Nobody can pronounce. So after this incident, the writer write a series of dialogues, and this prince also participated. But he never used this power in single time. Without power, all his dialogues are without power. So this is the beauty of Sanskrit. He was able to find ample synonyms which do not be use power. So great choice of vocabulary. So there are so many qualities in Sanskrit language. I tried to share some of them with you here.
Thank you for sharing these very scientific examples, and that we all need to have. And the beautiful example of Ram and Rama, that was very beautiful. And really, it has richness and it has the scientific aspect. And we all are learning in this Mantra Laya course also, when we are chanting all the Bij mantras and various Bij mantras and each of the chakras like that. So with this, with a very basic for beginners, how a beginner should start his learning, his or her learning in Sanskrit, and why, if you talk about in terms of yoga, we say like that Sanskrit is the language of yoga. So how it is?
Actually, yoga existed even when there was no language. Yoga is eternal. When human was there, the yoga was there. Language came afterwards. So earlier, when Rishi and Maharshis, they experienced the concepts of yoga, it was just an experience. So that experience now needed to be translated to some language, so that it can be transmitted to the disciples in Ananda. And that time only Sanskrit language was there. So obviously all their experiences they had during their samadhi or whatever status, they have translated to Sanskrit. And even now those concepts and words are having their own meaning, and in case we try to manipulate them, we don't get the correct meaning of it. For an example, avidya is said to be the mother of all kleshas, avidya. And generally it is popularly translated as ignorance, while there is a lot of difference between avidya and ignorance. So it is not actually translated. It should be understood in Sanskrit. There is another word like pratyahar. Pratyahar is a fifth anga of Ashtanga Yoga, and where Maharishi Patanjali says that you have to disengage yourself from your senses. So sense withdrawal is the general translation of that, which is not correct, in case we truly understand the pratyahar. So Sanskrit is the language of yoga, and it should be kept. We should not make any attempts to translate. And in mantras also, we have seen that we chant Om Shanti 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 after so many Veda mantras. And generally, I have seen that people translate it Om peace peace peace. And if you recite it, chant it by heart, you will find that the vibration which is there in Shanti, Shanti, Shanti are lacking in peace, peace. And Om as such cannot be translated.
Thank you, Alok, for that understanding, witness understanding that why yoga language should be by Sanskrit, and we brought out the concept of pranava and the concepts in the Yogasutras, and there is a sutra which is like Tasya Vachaka Pranava and talks about the Om. So, can you bring out some, it is very well known and it is used in everywhere when we talk about yoga, and Om is used everywhere. Can you bring out some important points or the benefits or the important significance of the term Om or Pranava?
Om, there is one Upanishad, we call it as Mandukya Upanishad. It is tiniest Upanishad. It has got only 12 statements, 12 shrutis or mantras you can say. You can put it in just one A4 page. The whole Mandukya Upanishad comes in there. And this tells only about Om. It tells how Om can be helpful to take out all your sufferings. Atyantik dukh nivritti ananda praptischa. This is the, we wish to, lose our sufferings forever. This is, we call it as a moksha or kaivalya. This is what we strive for, and that is the reason we are taking birth again and again for achieving that only. This can be done through Om, and this is the claim of Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukyam ekamevalam mumukshunam vimuktaya. The one who seeks liberation can get liberation through Mandukya Upanishad. So it opens up the statement, Sarvam hi etat iti etad aksharam midam sarvam. Om iti etad aksharam midam sarvam. Om is all pervasive. That is what Mandukya Upanishad claims. So let us understand how Om pervades everywhere. Even we are made up of Om. Everything is furniture, floor, everything, whatever we see in the universe is made up of Om. Let us understand. See, we have learned that this manifest universe is made up of 5 great elements. And the most subtle element is Akash, ether. Ether, where there is nothing. And if you add some gases to it, we can call it as a Vayu, the air element. And in case that air heats up, it becomes Agni, fire. And Akash is also there in the air. And it is there in the Agni also. And once it gets condensed and becomes water, it becomes Jal. And the Jal further condenses, it becomes Prithvi. From Akash to Prithvi, every element carries Akash. And how is Akash originated? We know Sukshma Bhut, subtle element. We call it as Tanmatra. The Tanmatra of Akash is Shabda. Shabda means sound or vibration. What does it mean? That all elements carry Shabda. Because Akash is everywhere and Akash is originated from Shabda. So Shabda is all pervasive. So there is a vibration in this universe. That is the underlying reality of all of us. Whatever has manifested is the vibration, due to vibration only. And our old Rishi and Maharshis, they tried to contemplate on that and found that its sound is very close to Om. So this is how we can understand that Om is all pervasive and whatever we see in this universe is made up of Om. Now, how Mandukya Upanishad tells us that we can get liberation. We can get rid of all sufferings. This is how they tell that. See, all individuals, we have 4 status. The Sanskrit goes Sarvam hi etat Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma, Soyam Atma Chatushpat. They say this self is Brahman. Brahman means the underlying reality of all manifest. Underlying reality we understand that what this table is made up of, it is made up of wood. This table is also made up of wood, and this pole is also made up of wood. So wood is the reality of all these furnitures. Now you further analyze it. Then this wood is made up of cellulose fibers. Cellulose kind of fibers, you compress them, it becomes wood in all trees and all. So the underlying reality becomes the cellulose fiber, and those cellulose fibers are made up of cells. Then the underlying reality is cells, and the cells are further made up of atoms and the subatomic particles. This similar sequence goes with anything, even human beings. So we are also made up of subatomic particles. We can call it as Brahman. That is the underlying reality. So they say that I am Atma, Soyam Atma Chatushpat. It has got 4 aspects. The 4 aspects are Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Jagrat means the waking world. Waker and the waker's world. Like now, we are all waking. Nobody is sleeping. Or we are wake up and our all senses are functional. We can see, we can smell, we can taste, whatever. All our senses are functional. This is waking stage. And once we go to bed and our senses, they are at rest. They slept. But our mind is not prepared to rest. It is still functional. Then it is playing on its own without the help of senses. We call it as dreams. We see so many dreams. I think everyone sees the dreams. It's an essential part of any living being. And those dreams teach us a very profound teaching. See, right now we are sitting and we know what we are made up of. Human beings are made up of flesh and blood, this is made up of wood, this floor is made up of something else. And if once we see the dream, see dream, you are seeing the whole world, everything is there in the dream. But what everything is made up of, you are also there, floor is also there, furniture is also there, and everything is made up of your own consciousness. So there is no difference between anything. Everything is me and me is everything. It teaches that nature plays a trick of ahankara. So through dream we can learn what is ahankara. See, actually all of us are nothing but the part of universe. The whole universe is made up of Brahmas, and so we are. We see the beach, we go to the beach and see so many waves are coming. A very big wave or a small tiny wave or some bubble or something. The tiny wave says that this is me. Or a large wave, oh, this is me. And the next moment it comes down. Ultimately it is water. Be it large wave or a very large wave or a very tiny wave. It is all, so it happens with us. In dream, the dream teaches us that you are not different from anyone else. Everything is made up of my own consciousness. Due to my own consciousness, I see the whole world, the whole manifest world. So this is the dream state. Now comes the dreamless deep sleep. This is third state. When there is no dream, and neurologists say that people are unconscious during deep sleep. But Vedanta says that no, only consciousness remains during the sleep. Everything is absent, only consciousness is present. That's why consciousness keep on observing us that this fellow is sleeping now. That's why after we wake up, we know that I had a nice sleep or I could not sleep today. There is something which has been observing you. That's why we come to know. So the consciousness remains there. So this is the deep sleep state, and the fourth we call it as the consciousness. It is something like a dark room is there. There is no light at all, and your eyes are wide open. Your eyes are wide open, but you can't see anything. Deep sleep is the experience of absence. It is not absence of experience. So, yes, so it is the fourth is the consciousness, our own reality. That is the fourth part. So now, the Mandukya Upanishad says that you have to realize that your reality is the consciousness. Now, what is the trick? Now comes the trick, and the trick is Om. Om has also got four aspects. First is A. If you dissect Om, A and U, they become O. And third letter is Ma. And the fourth is silence. Without silence, we cannot chant Om. Chant Om. We have to silence for some time, then we chant the Om. So there is a silence. So four aspects of Om and four aspects of our routine. So Mandukya Upanishad says that you have to name them. Your waker's world, you name it up. Your dream state, all your ideas, opinions, your subtle aspect, your imaginations, daydreaming, all such dreams, they say you name it U. And deep sleep, Ma. And after the entailing silence, they say this is consciousness. This is fourth. Turiya. Turiya means fourth. Literally, it means fourth. So whenever we chant Om, we should chant with the feeling that when we chant O, our waker's word will attach with A, dream with U, and Ma with deep sleep. And once the silence comes, we should realize that this is my reality. See, Dr. Sir says that Om has to be chanted in such a way that Om. Then 1/3 part of Ma should taper down and let it reach the silence. It is something like that your sound, what you produce, it has reached its own home. It has merged into silence. So that silence, and in case we practice this, then we start stepping back from that waker's. See, but all problems are all the physical problems are with my physical body. Why? Because we identify ourselves with this physical body. If you identify yourself as this physical body, the problems of this physical body will be your problems. Once you realize that this is only a physical body, it has just manifested for some time being, it will subside into the same universe, and realize that I am the consciousness, ever pervading consciousness. Then the problems of physical world will not be our problem. There's another example there. It's a very, very interesting example. Very catching and sharp. See, gold and ornaments. I have got a ring, a bracelet, and a necklace. They are all made up of gold. So gold is the reality of all these ornaments. And we fixed a name, we fixed a label on each and every ornament. This is ring, and it's used that it has to come on a finger, bracelet will come to your wrist, and necklace will come to your, and they have got their separate. Now, Mandukya Upanishad says that I'll take out the gold out of it. Now tell what is it? So it's still a ring. It's a ring made up of gold, and they say I'll take out the gold. Then what will remain? Nothing. Because the reality of every ornament is gold. So gold is taken out. Now, if similarly, our aspects, our waking world, dream world, and deep sleep, they are also like this one. So now what happened? If I say that no, it is not ring, because there is, it is made up of gold, and gold I have taken, so this is not ring. Then what I say is, if it is not ring, then that ring name, the word ring, what does it refer to? It refers to nothing. Similarly, each and everything of this universe, it is actually nothing. That's why they say, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The whole universe is illusion. Brahma only is truth. So, if we are able to realize it by practicing it, then we can realize that this is only a name. Naam, Roop, Vyavahar. Naam, name, Roop means a form, it has got a kind of a form, and Vyavahar means its usage, that it is come to my finger. This is Vyavahar. And for everything, Naam, Roop, Vyavahar, these three things are related. And once you take out the Brahma out of it, the consciousness out of it, that word remains of no use. That word becomes meaningless. So, but after that they say, this is not very easy for everyone to realize that ring is before me. Suppose I throw it. I got it that there is nothing in it, so I throw it. And find the gold now. I cannot find gold because I have already thrown it. So we need all these physical things. Similarly, the A, U and Ma, they are also physical things. Vaikari. This is not actuality. Actuality is the silence in telling you. But that silence cannot be achieved unless you chant Om. Chanting is a must. Then only the silence will be experienced.
Thank you for bringing this out, and really you have mentioned that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, and really like when we talk about like Shabda Brahma, Nāda Brahma, so these all concepts come upon on those things, and we have brought out the concepts of the Mandukya Upanishad, that is one of the very important Upanishad with the like shortest number of the mantras that you mentioned. And like Satchit Ananda and all the concepts in that. So thank you for, like it would be much better that we had have more time to ask more questions and it would have gone for hours and hours. But like we lack time as we all have, like you also have your work. So just binding it in nutshell, and like the Sanskrit is one of the very important language, it is a divine language. And thank you for bringing out the basic concept that you shared with all of us. And we will go through it, and those who want to know more, they can contact Sangeeta ji. She can help you with that. And the concept of Om in Mandukya Upanishad is very important for us. And with this last note, I'd like to invite Sangeeta ji to just say a few words to just let us know about the Mantra Laya and the concluding remarks of this conversation.
Thank you, Neeti. Thank you so much to both of you. It really is definitely a teaching that we'll continue to listen to and reflect and make sure to become a bridge for those who want to contact you and learn more with you. What you last said about how important it is to use our voice and to really honor all of the levels of the voice, despite how we invoke on our own, so that we can achieve a sense of silence. Even silence is not a complete translation, isn't it, of that state of India. But it reminds me, and I would just like to complete here with the teachings of the Parampara, particularly Swamiji, Pujamaji, and Dr. Nandaji, that the great gift of these teachings and of this parampara also is how all of the metaphysical, let's call them, all of these very highly spiritual concepts do find a place in our anatomical, physiological body. There's always going to be a correspondence with what's very real, with what's very tangible, so that there's no illusion. And the body itself becomes the universe, and the universe itself makes us aware of our own body. So with that, I would like to ask maybe our Sangha here, if anybody has a question for Neeti or Diwedi. If you have any question, you can, or comment before we complete.
Got a question. So, do we have an idea of how much time it took for all these sounds to come about? So that obviously there's a complete set. 50.
The Sanskrit alphabet.
So, was it, the process by which it came to this number?
Yes. The basic suras are 13. Basic suras are 13. And 33 Vyanjana or consonant are 33.
Yeah.
And combining two Vyanjan, sometimes two swaras, some more swara Vyanjanas there, and two that is called Ayoga, and this is Ayoga. These two letters are not swara, not the Vyanjan. These some are adding this, that the number increases, but basic swaras are 13 and 33 consonants.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So we would like to conclude. Thank you for the question. We would like to conclude now. And we would like to give thanks to, of course, all of our gurus, all of the paramparas, gurus, and in our particular case, to the blessings of Swamiji, Yoga Maharishi, Dr. Swami Gitananda Guru Maharaj, and to Amaji, Udvai Kalemani, Udvai Shakti, Yogacharini, Ashadhyayi Bhavanani, Dr. Anandaji, Udvai Kalemani, Yogacharya, Dr. Nanda Bhavanani, and to Shakti Ma, Yogacharini, Devasena Bhavanani. And thank you so much again, Neeti Dwivedi and Lord Dwivedi. Thank you so much, Yogacharya and Nilachal ji, and all of our students here. We can conclude with Aloha Samasta. Would you like to lead us in this? Thank you all very much. You're welcome to share, and we will see you next time. Namaskaram.
Thank you.
Thank you.